Hey everybody, welcome to this week's episode of With All Due Respect. We are your hosts. I'm Ryan Shead. That's Marcus Flowers. Brother, how are you doing?
I'm good, brother. How about you today?
Made it another week, man. Made it another week.
What crazy week it's already been.
I know, man. And we have so much to talk about, but I think we should start with the most important thing that everybody wants to hear about, which is Dolly Parton is okay.
Dolly Parton.
Let's just start there. Everybody take a deep breath. She's good. So
Queen's own mouth. She ain't dead yet.
Not yet.
We're good.
So keep doing all the good things you do, Dolly. We all love you, and stick around as long as you can.
She's a national treasure as far as I'm concerned.
I'm telling you. Speaking of national treasures,
Let's get right into it.
I want to talk about Bad Bunny and the Super Bowl halftime show. Besides it being the next ICE detention center, what's your reaction to Bad Bunny getting the bill?
I mean, I don't personally listen to his music. I'm more concerned about the fact that you still have a bunch of Americans that don't know that Puerto Rico is America. That pisses me off more than anything.
Dude, if that pisses you off, this is really going to piss you off. In 2024, there's a video out there. Remember, Marcus and I are trying to start a cult. We just like to fact check one. Donald Trump said that there is the president of Puerto Rico, that he met with him.
I mean, was he looking in the mirror when he said that?
Or the voices in his head? I have no idea. But from where I was sitting, it sounded a lot like the president of the United States didn't know that he was actually over a territory that belongs to us.
Us. Well, I mean, could be dementia. I mean, what do I know? Hey, I'm not a clinical psychologist,
but you know what Bad Bunny is qualified to do?
Play at a Super Bowl.
Besides that, he is also qualified to run for president. You know who isn't qualified to run for president?
Felons.
we might want to make that a thing.
I mean, it should be a thing. If it's, but hey.
Yeah, looking back, that's probably something we should do. But as it sits, Ted Cruz can't run for president.
There you go.
Elon Musk can't run for president. Arnold Schwarzenegger can't run for president. Yeah. Bad Bunny can. But a lot of you don't seem to understand that fact. You want to deport him back to an American territory.
We've still got people struggling with the fact that Puerto Rico is part of the United States. So,
Can I just tell you all something?
Just yet. So,
I feel like I need to give our haters and MAGA people this context. Yeah. Well, although I ended up as an aircraft mechanic and engineer by some grace of God, when I went to high school, I think we had 420 kids that graduated with us. I was 419. Like, I didn't pay attention in school. I was not a good student. And the fact that I know more than a lot of you people do about our government, about world economics, micro, macro, holy crap. People, please educate yourself. Please.
I mean, it's
start with how many territories belong in the United States. It's more than one, by the way. Just start there.
Get me started on Guam, but hey,
help me out here, Marcus. Help me,
brother. I live in the South, so I've been dealing with it. Like, I remember coming back from Europe when I first moved back to the States after being away for 20 years, and people were asking me about different places and how many countries have you been to, and what was your favorite, and where's that country? I was like, it's in Europe. And then, when you start talking about the Netherlands and Holland being the same place, mind blown.
Yeah, mind blown.
So, it's, hey.
I just got to give a shout out to my old man, because when I joined the military, I remember I got my orders, and my first orders were to Okinawa, Japan. Mm-hmm. And I wanted nothing to do with that. I wanted to stay in Florida, where I was at tech school. Mm-hmm. And I remember I called my dad up and told him the orders. He's like, if you don't take those orders, he's like, you will regret it the rest of your life. Yeah. He's like, go have this experience.
Oh, yeah.
And thank God I listened to him, because it's still probably 2 of the best years of my life, just in terms of not even just the job and serving, but the relationships and the experience and all the different cultures I got to experience, not staying in my little nest. I'm very thankful for it, because it's helped me see past my nose. And I think in America, it's become very obvious who has never left, their area code versus those of us who have seen some things.
Yeah. I mean, it's like with me, when I first left this country at 19 years old, I figured I'd be gone for 3 or 4 years and right back to the States. 20 years later,
yep. My wife was 11 years.
Yeah, I spent a long time out of the country, but that only let me grow as a person, see some of these. That's one of the things I wanted to do as a child. I wanted to travel the world, and I got to do that on pretty much Uncle Sam's dime, the taxpayer.
That too.
Dime. And, a lot of it was tough work, but
thank you, America.
And they weren't always the greatest places that you wanted to go to, but I still got to see the good.
Definitely some places you don't want to go to.
Definitely a lot of places that I didn't want to go to.
Yep.
I still got to see those things, and they all, brought their own value, shall we say. You get to see how people live in war-torn countries and third world countries, and you also get to see the flip side of that in countries where things are great and beautiful, places you want to visit. But it all made me who I am today, and helped me understand that at the end of the day, no matter where you're from, where you were born, where you live, where you're at, we all, people in general, the human race, the human condition, we all want the same things out of life.
Yeah.
That's safety, security, putting a roof over your head, food on the table,
raise a family if you want.
Trying to give your kids a better life than the one that you had. We all want the same things out of life, which is,
and we've lost. It just feels like we've lost sight of that, and we're so far apart. Absolutely. On what we envision that should be.
Absolutely.
And it's funny. I remember when I went in the military, I was 21, so I waited a little bit, and I remember thinking this is going to be great. Like, there's not going to be a bunch of, racism and bullshit. Like, we're all just going to be one, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, yeah, that's naive and wishful thinking, but I remember like our first week, after a few nights, you kind of start talking, everybody kind of starts getting to know each other at night before you go to rec. And a bunch of us were sitting around talking, and simple question, get to know each other. Why'd you join? Mm-hmm. What made you join? Everybody had something different. Some people are like, I needed the GI Bill. I want to go to college. Cool.
Exactly.
For me, it was, I needed a skilled trade. So I had picked sheet metal. And so, that was one of my driving forces. And 9/11, I went in beginning of 2003. So, I was trying to figure out my place in how we responded in that. And then I just remember sitting there and having these conversations. And the first of us were pretty, normal, typical stuff. GI Bill, skilled trade, job, house, whatever.
I went in a bit earlier than that. You even had guys who said, well, this is to stay out of jail.
Then you start getting to those, and it's like, the one that hit me the most was, a dude said, he goes, my dad used to come home every night and beat the shit out of me. He's like, so I figured this would be better.
To get away.
That was his response. And I just remember everybody in that circle sitting there silent for a second, because we all realized, like, most of us didn't have it that bad. You know, like, this dude, you know, we all had that instant empathy of, okay, that's a little different.
I mean, I always felt like the cheesy guy, you know, when everyone told their stories about why they got in the military. I was always like, well, it was really simple for me. I mean, I had uncles who served, and I saw them in uniform.
Yep.
I've wanted to do this ever since I was 7 years old.
Family tradition.
So, yeah.
My dad served. My grandfather served. Yep. It's and same with my wife's. I tell people that, like, when we're having these arguments online, and these people are trying to call Trump and Musk and all these people, you know, better patriots and better Americans than me, I'm like, listen here, you clowns. Like, my entire family has given over a century, not decades, a century of military service to this country.
That's it.
So, like, we are not on the same level. Trump is not on the same level as families like Marcus's and mine.
You know, when did he ever serve this country?
He still ain't serving this damn country.
First elected president. I mean, he swore the oath like we did. So,
yeah, well,
yes. Now,
with this behind his back,
you can question that quote unquote service, you know, whether it's good or bad. And I think we all know it's bad and dangerous. But
I know we're going to talk more about military and the responses that we're seeing. But just to cap off this Bad Bunny halftime show. How do I put this? How about we focus on something that matters? How about that? Like, how about, like, the flotillas going to Gaza getting picked up? You know, there's a whole nother set headed that way now. What about freaking, I thought Trump was going to stop the wars within like 48 hours. I thought he was going to get Russia to bend knee to him in the world. I thought that he was going to stop sending money to Israel. I thought all these things were going to happen. Yet, you people, oh, and by the way, release the Epstein files. You people are so concerned about the dumbest shit. And then on top of it, to find out that it's based in pure ignorance. You don't even know this man literally is a citizen of our fucking country. It just shows we understand how you voted for Trump. You voted for him because either you didn't understand that he was a convicted felon, an adjudicated sexual abuser, a prolific business fraud, and an accused kitty diddler. You either didn't understand it or you didn't care. Both of those things, you're a piece of garbage. So how about we move on from the Super Bowl halftime show now? And by the way, we can focus on things like CTE, mental health, addiction, and getting people help, because we got Mark Sanchez out here, a former football player, walking up to random people, drunk as hell apparently, and getting into fights with them, and then ended up getting stabbed and stabbing him. And now he's in the hospital.
He's facing charges. So
he's facing felony charges.
So.
And I'm going to tell you what I instantly thought, Marcus. It was, this dude's dealing with CTE and he's self-medicating. And
knowing some football players and having spent time around professional football players and kind of seeing that behavior, you know, whether it's the alcohol abuse and I can tell you, I'm not going to say any names, but I'm talking about guys who played on defense. I'm talking about quarterbacks, past quarterbacks who are no longer in the NFL, that you all know.
It didn't discriminate.
Just hanging out with them and watching the way they abused alcohol. Now, I'm a guy, I'll go out and have a drink, but I like to drink beer, you know. Yeah. And after about 3 or 4 beers, you know, I'm pretty much ready to, you know, call it a day. But I'm watching these quarterbacks who've taken all these hits, you know, downing fifths of whiskey.
Yeah.
In like 30 minutes.
Time. Yep.
And going back for others. So, you know, CTE, I mean, and this is back before we even knew what CTE was.
We even knew, yeah.
You know, you just kind of figure, I mean, and I had one guy explain to me, He's like, yeah, you played football in high school, but think about it this way. I mean, you remember what those hits felt like. You may have had one guy on your high school team or in the region that you played
That could hit
in
yeah.
that could hit really hard. You knew who that guy was. That guy was probably going to go on to college. There were maybe 3 or 4 of them at his college
That go on to NFL.
maybe that could go on to the NFL.
And then you're getting hit like that every
day
by
every time. And it's like, if you think about being in a car accident 35 times a week on one day,
yeah,
that's what it's like. I mean, we've all had that one guy that rocked us in football, and we've all made that one
seen
hit,
stars. Yep.
Yeah, where you're like, oh man.
We had a kid in high school, Timmy the Tank, what we called him. He got, I think, in our varsity year, he got 3 concussions. Like, and he kept coming back. And I just remember my dad saying, like, they need to stop. Like, he needs to stop playing.
Yeah.
Like, after the 3rd one, my dad started, like, going to the coach and being like, maybe you guys should sit Timmy for the rest of the year.
It adds up. Up.
I mean, so, yeah, it's sad to see these guys. I started saying this, Barry Sanders, Calvin Johnson. Like, I got to see all these guys play.
Yeah.
And I love watching football. I do. I love the sport. Played it in high school.
We all do.
But I hate watching these guys get old.
That's how you get the guys like Eric Dickerson making the comments that he made about Bad Bunny's halftime performance,
man,
leaving the geography part aside, saying he should keep his ass home or whatever if he doesn't like America. Okay.
But it's like, okay, again, that is America.
No, exactly.
But also, I'm going to give Eric Dickerson some grace simply because I've met him once, and he was very nice to me, and he was very nice to everybody that I saw him interact with. So, I'll give him a little bit of grace here, but I will say this one. I would like to see or hear what Eric Dickerson's response would be to Donald Trump, the felon, the business fraud, the adjudicated abuser. I'd wonder if he's invited to the Super Bowl.
Dirt. I get it.
That would be my question to Mr. Dickerson. Instead of tearing into him, which is my knee-jerk reaction, I'll admit. I'd just like to hear, like, okay, fair, but how do you feel about this? Or is it all hypocrisy? Is it all bullshit?
I think we'll come back to this every week, Ron, when we have this.
Every week, brother.
Every week we come back to this, this culture war bullshit where it's all about dehumanizing the other side,
Yep.
Liberal this, liberal that, Christian nationalists,
Antifa terrorist organization.
I think when you get down to it, Bad Bunny's a brown guy.
Yes, sir.
Playing the Super Bowl.
That speaks a different language.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know if MAGA was too happy about Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl.
Show, they weren't. I remember how they lost their mind.
So it's just another reason to be outraged about nothing.
And I feel like I did Bad Bunny a little bit of injustice there when I said he speaks another language. Let me rephrase. He can do something that MAGA and myself, I might add, can't do. He can speak 2 languages, Spanish and English, and he does them both fluently.
Happy birthday balloons. What's going on?
I don't know what the birthday balloons are for, but okay.
Hey, we'll take it.
Hey, speaking of, it is my business partner Ian's birthday in a few days, and even though he's been attending to personal things, we still love him and still sending out some birthday wishes to him. So happy birthday, brother!
Let's see if I get the balloons now. But yeah,
right?
That's
come on, guys. Marcus feels left out. Give him some balloons.
My birthday just passed. I'm
it did
50 now.
Yep,
a man of a certain age. So.
Old man. Oh, yeah. We're just old, pissed off veterans now, looking to end it all.
Yeah, grumpy old vets.
Well,
speaking cold going
on. Speaking of vets,
yep.
I'm just going to start out with a basic question. 2-part question. A,
lay it on me.
Did you ever think that we would see the military deployed into American cities? And B, did you ever think that you would see the National Guard from one state be transported 3,000 miles to another state for them to patrol a city?
So the way I was going to answer that question is no. I never thought I would see the military deployed into cities outside of a natural disaster.
Thank you.
And those states requesting that help.
Thank you.
Never thought I would see that. And I just never thought the law would be broken that way. I mean, it's illegal.
I mean, at this point,
what's being done?
It's being, I think it's fair to say that the law is being completely ignored at this point.
Completely ignored.
I mean, like it doesn't even exist.
Like it doesn't even exist. Posse comitatus is not a thing.
Yep.
To them. And for me, it's not just that we're breaking the law here with doing this, but this shit is dangerous.
Amen.
It's dangerous because when you think about it, and we've talked about this before, the military is not a law enforcement agency. It's
Correct.
not what we do in the military. We have law enforcement in the military, our military police and our security police.
But they have no jurisdiction
1%.
outside of what, Marcus?
Say again.
They have no jurisdiction outside of what?
They have no jurisdiction outside of military bases.
Thank you. Woo, caught it.
Or their wartime missions.
Yes.
Which is recon, part of it anyway.
Yep.
1% of the military, maybe a little bit more than 1%, maybe 2. Let's call it 2. Let's call it 3% of the military are a very small percentage are military police officers and know how to do law enforcement work. UCMJ, but they still, most of them, if you're talking about guard and reserves, they're actual police officers in real life, but they're few and far between. So when you that's a bad word. That's loaded. When you place the military in cities and you expect them to do the work of law enforcement, you're not only putting them at risk, but you're putting the citizen at risk. You're mixing the perfect cocktail for a disaster.
Yeah.
As far as I can see it. It's a disaster waiting to happen.
And what's the dangerous part to me
I think they know that. I think they know that. That's the other part of that.
Oh,
I think the
100%.
administration knows that, which makes
100%.
it even more sinister, if you will.
Nefarious. Very
nefarious. It's a better word.
Yep. And again, what's concerning to me is the way that they're whitewashing, all of this. Mm-hmm. Like the military working with local law enforcement to detain people without any kind of legal
authority.
Yeah, I don't know why my brain isn't working, but no warrants, no nothing. Just we're picking them up because we heard this about them. Like, do you know how many lawsuits have already been filed by people who've been unjustly picked up? Citizens that have been picked up and spent 24, 48 hours in a freaking detention center?
Yeah. I mean,
like, there's no rhyme or reason to what is happening. And literally what Donald Trump does on a daily basis is float fascist trial balloons on social media and through video to see what he is going to be able to get away with. And unfortunately, go ahead.
Let me push back on that just a little
bit. Go ahead, please.
You say there's no rhyme or reason. I disagree.
Okay.
I disagree because I believe there is a rhyme or reason. They're teeing all this bullshit up, sending military into these cities under false pretenses. Oh, there's an invasion. There's all this crime, that, law enforcement can't handle.
Yep.
When you got officials in Portland from the governor on down to, the mayor saying, we don't fucking need the military here. We can handle this ourselves. You got senators in Illinois and mayors in Chicago saying, we don't need you guys. You want to send us some money to help us out with the law enforcement? Sure, send us.
Yeah.
But send us some money. Give us some grants. We'll work on the problem. They're teeing this shit up so that they can, once again, we'll use that word nefarious for their nefarious purposes.
Yeah.
So that they can create an environment where something bad happens, and then Trump can have his wet dream of implementing martial law.
Yep. And to add on to that, and I don't disagree with anything you said. That's a fair correction. What I need everybody to hear is the most important part, which is whether we intended to or not, after January 6th, our response on the liberal Democrat side, especially within Congress, it revealed to Donald Trump and his camp who could not be trusted, who were not loyalists. And it showed them what positions they were going to need to appoint loyalists to in order for him not to be stopped for 2.0.
That first one was a trial run.
And we literally
he'd gotten reelected in 2020. He was going to get rid of all of the people that he needed to get rid of.
Anyway,
they learned
this was going to happen one way or the other.
One way or another.
Yep, 100% agree.
I mean, we could have had Kamala Harris.
Could have had Kamala Harris.
We could have had Hillary, but that's
yeah. Sure. This is all a plan, and unfortunately, right now we're losing. And it's going pretty much to plan for them.
Well, they fucking wrote the plan, and we
wrote
about it for
honestly.
years.
We wrote the
Project
playbook
25
for
bullshit. Project 2025 bullshit. They wrote it out.
Well, that playbook, yeah. And then we gave them the playbook on how to accomplish it, and who they needed to get rid of to implement Project 2025. And by the way, I believe the checker, aren't we like close to 70% now?
Oh, it's. Now you heard me say this
not even
before.
a year.
We're living in a time where I don't think we're living in a democracy anymore with everything that's going on. No. If this government shut down, and of course they're going to blame liberals and Democrats for this, but last I checked, we don't control shit as far as the government goes. We don't control the House or the Senate.
Nope.
So we don't control the legislative branch.
And we don't have the tiebreaker. We
don't have the presidency.
Nope.
So we don't control the executive branch. And I'll be damned if we don't control the Supreme Court and don't have enough, I hate to say liberal justices or moderate justices, but
how about morally centered?
Well, they're supposed to be impartial, but that's not what it is anymore.
No.
So we don't control the judicial branch. I mean, Trump had a shit ton of judicial appointments in his first term.
Yeah. What was it, over 150?
No,
something like that?
200s.
Was it in the 200s?
I want to say it was in the 200s.
Yeah,
Joe Biden got several, but now Trump's getting more. So, and, if, heaven forbid, which I think will probably happen, Alito and Thomas decide to retire.
Yeah.
While Trump's still in office.
Point two young ass, crazy loyalists.
You'll have like an Aileen Cannon Supreme Court justice, And
unlike Democrats, we're
straight MAGA.
I think we can.
Yeah, we don't have the courts, so.
No, we don't. And again, let's not act like we don't have ways to fix this problem. We do. We just have to have the wherewithal to do it. So
intestinal and ovarian fortitude to make it happen, to expand the courts. I say expand them to where you can have 3 sets of 9 and they all mix up to hear cases.
Yep. It's too diluted with political control at this point. You cannot have a Supreme Court be the checks and balance of our government when they're being influenced by said government, both financially and personally.
Exactly. I mean,
it's not possible. But again, An
You just
oath
look
is
at
only
Clarence
as good.
Thomas, just Clarence Thomas and Alito. Just look at the crap that they've gotten away with.
This dude wants to get like literally challenge. What was it? The loving
Loving
judge
interracial
judgment.
marriage.
He's in an interracial marriage.
He's in it, and wow.
Am I the only one seeing this? Like, because it's starting to feel like it. Like those of us who said they're never going to care about gun violence till it happens to them. They just watched like their Messiah take one to the neck. And not only are they not doing anything about gun violence, they're adding more guns to the situation and martyring him and saying it's why we need more guns. Really?
They're always going to make that argument why they need more guns. You know,
like we're approaching 2 guns per person in America. Like we might be getting a little excessive.
I mean, we all want common sense gun reform when we don't want weapons in the hands.
Yeah.
I'm
not and I'm sure you do too. I own firearms, guys. Like I'm not anti-firearm. I'm not anti-home protection. You know, I carry sometimes. Like I'm not against these things. You know, I have an AR that I purchased a year ago saying I said for years I never would. But you are now seeing what Marcus and I were already seeing a year ago. Now everybody's seeing it. We saw it because we do this every day. Yeah. So we saw the red flags. We saw this coming. And it got to the point where the threats became credible enough that even my wife, who is anti-gun in the home, even she said, okay, because I told her this. I said, I no longer feel like I have enough firepower in the house that I could take on 2 or 3 people with if they show up with ARs. I said, I need to have the same equipment. Yeah. And when I explained it to her like that, she said, okay.
We both gained those skills when we were very young men. Me at 18, you said you joined at 21.
Yep.
I've kept those skills over the last 30, however many years since, I first joined the military, which is why I do myself own ARs. So multiple.
And I'm going to the range again. Like I'm trying to expand my skills because that's where we're at. And I'm going to the range for the first time. And I didn't feel the need to keep up with it for 5-8 years. It was just like, I've got it, but whatever.
But I just hate the misconception and people saying Democrats or liberals want to take away your guns.
I don't know.
We own guns.
We want control. We're tired of watching kids get shot in school. We're tired of people going to the mall and going shopping and getting picked off. We're tired of church. Come on, y'all. Nowhere's safe. Like kids literally on their knees praying to God in pews getting shot. That's not a fake story. That's not fiction. That happened. Just a few months ago
here in this country.
So far.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it seems some countries are starting to try to copy our insanity. So I just want to wrap this up by pointing out that the Texas National Guard has been deployed to Illinois.
How nuts is that? How nuts is that?
That's insane. So basically, let me translate this for people. At least this is my translation. Donald Trump is going to governors that he knows are not going to push back and saying, I want you to send your troops to a Democrat-run city because I said so.
In another state.
In another state. That has never happened. Never.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Again, unless it was for hurricane relief,
exactly.
Something like that.
Of course.
Then then I think it has happened.
But that's part of the mission.
Exactly. So. You here to get a hurricane, you're like, anybody in the military or in the Guard or reserves, they're like, we're expecting that phone call.
You expect that state's National Guard.
Yeah, you're going.
To help out. And if that helps inadequate, other states can say, other governors can say, hey, anything you need.
There's been times where active duty has gone out into the community to help guard. Like, they've worked together because, like you said, there wasn't enough guard and they needed more people. Yeah. They just come on the base and they're like, all right, guys, we're bringing buses. Get on. We're going here. Cool. Let's go.
That's it.
By the way, they do the same thing when an airplane crash happens.
Whatever you need.
Yeah. But, that's how far have we come from watching these same Guard, Reserve, military people in the videos rescuing people during hurricanes, like Katrina. I will never forget those images, and now I'm never going to forget the images of military law enforcement shooting people in the head with rubber bullets, Americans, clergy. Like, these are men of faith out there trying to tell this law enforcement military this isn't the way. And what's their response? Here, take one to the top of the head.
So a part of this, as I see it, we go back to that plan, where they're teeing this whole thing up. So part of that plan is to destroy the trust that the American people have in their military.
Yep.
That's part of the plan.
Yeah.
Because, for as long as I've served in the military, veteran, the American people have always thought very highly of the military. Everywhere I go, thank you for your service.
Yep.
My response is the same every time. It was my pleasure. You were worth it.
Yep.
Now with this administration, they're chipping away at that. They're chipping away at that credibility that the military has with the American people by setting up an environment where, like you said, mistakes can happen. Like I said, you're putting sometimes young soldiers, not always young soldiers, when it comes to the Guard. Sometimes they're older. People who don't want to be away from their family for this kind of bullshit.
Yeah.
They could be having a bad day. Yep. The perfect environment, that powder keg, where one little spark goes off, and we've got an incident where you're rubber bulleting people to the head.
Yeah.
Or you're tackling people, and
Americans are out in the street demanding it to stop.
Exactly. Yep. Setting up those circumstances to where you then start to erode trust in the military.
Yeah.
Because of a fat commander-in-chief who's senile and probably has dementia.
And a drunk department of freaking delusion.
Yeah.
And by the way, I just have to say, in response to Pete Hegseth and some of the ridiculous things he said, when you talk about our military needing to be, ready, doing all this PT and spending three days a week, that's how I know your ass was first off never in the field, never. And the reason I say that is because you had a job being an instructor of counterintelligence. Basically, you were the asshole that made the slideshows that I had to watch before I actually, that I had to watch before I actually went out and did my job. And my response to that is remembering my first year in Okinawa. I think we worked 12-hour shifts, 7 days a week for 5 months straight. And we did two exercises, two-week-long exercises in that time frame. Yep. And not only did we not have time to go to the fucking gym, we barely had time to go to the chow hall to get food. Because by the time you're done with those 12-hour shifts, being out on the flight line on top of an aircraft that's about 110 degrees, sitting out in the sun, having hydro fluid drip all over you, and among many other things that I can't think of right this second, the last thing you want to fucking do after that is go to the gym for an hour and a half and go run 2-3 miles. Some people love that shit, and they did it. Great. Power to you. Me, I wanted to go get something to eat it as fast as humanly possible, shower, lay my ass in a bed, and then go back to work the next day. That's how I got through those months. Yeah. So, dude, I get it. if you're out there and you're kicking down doors and you're the people out in the sandbox, yes, you need to be able to run. You need to be able to stay up for long periods of time. You need to be able to function on little food. But again, that's why MRAs are so calorie dense. Like, yes, you need those things. As an aircraft mechanic, I worked my ass off so that those people would have air support. So to do that, I needed to get sleep. Because when you're working on those aircrafts and a patch flies off and goes into the engine and takes out the $38 million asset, and the pilot has to eject, which they usually only get to in their career, yeah, I can't say, I'm sorry, I didn't get enough sleep. You have to get your fucking job done. And my job was not to go work out. And my job did not require me to run fucking 3.5 miles every day. It required me to be able to read directions, drill straight holes, and actually give a shit about the pilot getting in the plane.
Yeah, well, let's break it down even further than that. What about your linguist or your analyst or your guys that work in the PAC, which is the Personnel Action Center, taking care of soldiers, sailors, airmen, and marines? And that's a job where you come in the morning. You got people in and out of there. You know, you're processing their paperwork, taking care of these soldiers, sailors, airmen, and marines.
Half of us are
probably until 7 or 8 o'clock at night.
Yep.
Way past duty hours because something's always going on. You know, when you're in garrison or
and wrong,
and they've got people who are deployed and they're taking care of them and taking care of their stuff. Do you need to be jacked sitting behind that desk? Do you need to be jacked sitting at that station listening to terrorists who may be plotting against,
say Taylor Swift,
or collecting intel on some bad guys? Yeah, you need to be jacked for all of that. I mean, come on.
No.
But to even get away from that speech that he gave just shows me that he doesn't understand Army doctrine. When you're talking about, we're going to do this, gloves off, and things like that. Well, the reason we don't commit war crimes. It goes back to that fucking credibility that we have with not only the American people, but with our allies and enemies abroad.
The reason we don't commit war crimes.
I'm sorry. Listening to that bullshit that he gave, and then having people, and I looked at all the comments, having people distill it down to, well, yeah, all he said was the military needs to be in shape. Bullshit. That's all he said.
No, he said throw out rules of engagement. Rules
of engagement. You don't understand ROI and when you should hold your fire. He's talking about committing war crimes. That's what he's talking about doing. He's talking about killing people. This FAFO childish bullshit that you would get on a
I can't believe he actually said that on stage talking to generals.
Come on, man. Get out of here.
Like an airman wouldn't say that to a bunch of generals out of stupidity. Like,
it just tells me that he never.
Sorry, like if you're in the military, you know just how dumb that is.
He didn't spend a whole lot of time briefing flag officers. He just didn't. So,
but real quick, let's talk about somebody who's actually effective at their job. And I just want to preface this with Democrats. Just please follow this man. Mayor Brandon Johnson signed a ICE-free zone executive order, which creates clear mechanisms to prohibit federal immigration agents from using any city-owned property in their ongoing operations in Chicago. Sir, can I just say,
good stuff.
That's what we need to see.
Yeah.
Mayor
Johnson was at the leadership conference last week in D.C.
Was he?
And listen to him speak. So
nice.
Yeah.
This is what I want to see. I want to see these mayors come out and look. I'm even going to sit here and acknowledge that some of this may be even we might even be able to call it performative. Because with everything you have to be able to enforce it. Yeah. It's only a law is only as good as the enforcement. And an oath is only as good as the person who takes it. So this is what we need. Here's what we're doing. What Mayor Johnson did is he gave the legal system and the justice system and prosecutors, they gave them a tool to be able to actually start prosecuting and charging these people. And that's what is so brilliant about this, is because we have to start fighting back in every arena, in the judicial system, in Congress, in the streets. We have to hit them in every single arena. And we need politicians like this that are going to stand up and do the right thing.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say it as the white guy in the room. I'm going to need some white politicians to start standing up and doing this shit. Besides Governor, what is it?
Pritzker.
Thank you.
He said a mouthful at the speech that I saw him give at the
yes, he did.
Democratic Party of Georgia's annual dinner.
He's been giving a mouthful to everybody, which I like.
He's not lying. He's telling the truth.
It's facts, but he's delivering it the way we need it. Like, no more, here, open up for the airplane. No. Shove that stuff in our mouth. We need that. And that's what I like about Brandon Johnson. But again, here is a black man who has to deal with other things than us white people do. It's just the reality in America. So he is taking other risks outside of just the ones he is politically. And we have to acknowledge those things.
Very risky for him. So, yeah.
Jasmine Crockett, him, any elected representative right now that doesn't look like me and identifies as liberal or even a centrist are in danger. Like, this isn't a drill America.
We all are. And to shamelessly plug Hold the Line, which is my federal PAC, who is all about electing the next generation of Democratic leadership.
Yes.
It's about fighters. It's about people who are willing to stand up and do the right thing no matter what the political cost. Too often we see these politicians who run for office, get elected, and then play it safe. Jasmine Crockett, Brandon Scott, J.B. Pritzker, they're not those types.
Nope.
That's what we're looking for. We need more of that. More of that fire in your belly, doing the right thing because it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Political consequences be damned. That's the kind of guy I am.
And it might be why we might
doing the right thing.
Yeah. But that might be why we never get that seat at the table too. Because
who knows, maybe one day. We'll see.
Who
knows what the future holds.
But just because they close one door doesn't mean they're going to be able to close the other one.
Well, you close one door, a window.
I'll be on that. I'll be on that roof like Fortnite trying to get in. But we've talked about why we started this show, and it's not just to talk about the topics of the week. It's also to highlight people that we think need to be in Democratic leadership moving forward, because it's great for us to sit here and talk about it and build our platforms and inform people. That's great. We also need to build a plan for our future of the party. And that's going to be starting with, not even my generation, Gen Z and these younger kids. We got to start listening. We have to start planning, and we got to stop paying attention to the old guard. That isn't going to get us anywhere. And on this show, we've already brought on some great people, and we're going to continue doing that. And we actually would love to hear from you. Who's a local politician in your area, that you're either donating to or that you've worked for, campaigned for, that you would like to see us, bring on the show and highlight, because that's a big part of what we want to do. So, please, tell us in the comment section somebody that, you'd like us to check out and possibly bring on the show, because that's how we build the future. That's how we build a strong pipeline of future candidates that are already vetted, that already are going to have the support and are going to be ready to go. That's what we need. And honestly, the blueprint's already been done with people like AOC. They used a very similar blueprint with her. She hit the ground running. She did the work in New York, and she got elected. She was, 26, 28 when she got elected? No experience in the government, and she got elected to Congress. Like, first time out.
as well. She's one of those fighters, agree with her or don't agree with her stance.
There's things I disagree with her on.
And she does good work. So
she is for me personally, she is in our top 5 in the Democratic Party. And I'll just say liberals. She is in the top 5 in terms of social media reach, in terms of following. But the one thing that really impresses me with her, it's a couple things, is she knows what the hell she's talking about. Mm-hmm. You may not necessarily agree with her, but what you're not going to do is sit there and say that woman doesn't know what the hell she's talking about, because she does. And the other thing that I've always kind of paid attention to, and I always wonder if other people, especially men, notice this. AOC is an attractive woman, and she has a nice figure, and she doesn't. I don't think I've ever seen her dress in a way that was unprofessional. Not that I can remember. She always dresses for the job, but more so, she dresses for the reputation she wants, and that. I don't know why, but that always stands out to me. She's always been about business. And
one of the things I always say,
like her or not,
government and governance is serious business for serious people.
Yes, sir.
Full stop. Right now we got a bunch of clown cars
lined up around the Capitol. Looking back, John Fetterman showing up in a Carhartt sweatshirt probably should have been a red flag, but I digress.
We got to build that bench. We got to get the
do.
Next generation of Democratic leadership in there. We got to start playing the long game, like Republicans have been playing for the last 50 years.
Yep.
And we've got to paint our narrative.
Yeah.
Explain to people what we're about as Democrats. I am a Democrat. I'm about getting Democrats elected, effective Democrats, effective leaders.
There you go.
People who understand what service means. And we can do that. So,
people who want the job, not just
people up there. Yeah.
Not just the spotlight. That's who I'm looking for.
Yeah. You gotta have that certain servant mentality.
Yep. To me, maybe it's just
servant leadership. That's what it's about.
The people that are about it just stand out to me.
Yeah.
Like you can tell the people that, they read the briefs, they read they try to read the bills. Like, you can tell the people that put in the work, the people that give a shit about us. You just can. I say about Jasmine Crockett all the time, just because I personally love her, but she's not just out there fighting for Texas and her district. She's fighting for Americans. Like, she's traveling around the country. She's not just working for her district, and we need that. We need these members of Congress that have that bullhorn, that have that chair at the table, going around and getting people to understand what is really going on, because it is that bad. It's probably worse than a lot of us think, and it's pretty damn bad right now.
I had the chance to run into her a couple of times while I was in D.C. last week. The thing about Jasmine is she is singular. You're not going to get too many like her. I mean, she is outstanding on so many levels, and she can bring it and communicate in such a way that it drives that point home every single time. And it's that common sense, common tongue that people love, that authenticity that just comes through in her. So you're not going to see a lot of people like her, but she has that servant leadership quality.
Yep.
That we need more of in, government and candidates who are willing to step up and serve. And that's what it's really about.
And on top of all that, I think what sets her apart from a lot too is that she also has the tools.
Absolutely.
She's got the education. Like, don't get it twisted. Like, she may be up there talking. She's talking to us the way she would talk to a friend, or a colleague, but don't get it twisted. Like, she'll sit there and use words that I probably have to go look up in a dictionary. Like, this woman will intellectually destroy you if necessary.
Credentials. Let's not forget, she's a lawyer. She's the real
deal.
She didn't just show up one day and, oh, she's in Congress, and all of a sudden there's the cameras. She worked her ass off to get where she was. She served a lot. So,
she wasn't some.
A lot of people don't know that. They think she just popped up in Congress and she's this firecracker that, no. She put in the time.
Yep. She was mentored. She knew exactly what she wanted. She was not a Lauren Boebert who literally the only reason anybody knew who she was because she got a viral video telling Beto O'Rourke that he's not going to take their guns. Yeah. That's literally the only reason anybody knew who she was. Yeah. No education, dumb as a fucking box of rocks, like.
Yep. If not dumber, but hey.
Convinced that somehow that thing is somehow more patriotic than people like Marcus and I who actually served this country. Like, she uses the flag and patriotism as a weapon.
Yeah.
Like, it's the most disrespectful thing you can honestly do as an American, but Republicans do it daily. So
daily disrespect the flag, and you try and wrap yourself in scripture and the flag, and all the while trying to dehumanize others because of their political views or because you don't think they deserve to be on the same level as you. Yeah. That ain't patriotism. That's something quite different.
Yeah. Yep. So I want to move on to James Comey.
Yeah.
Was arraigned today.
Yeah.
And unsurprisingly, of course, he pled not guilty.
Not guilty, of course.
To the trumped up charges, pun intended.
What, lying to Congress? Come on. Yeah.
And I would be remiss if I didn't remind everybody that this is the same FBI director who reopened an investigation into Hillary Clinton like 7 or 10 days before the 2016 election, which, in my opinion, was one of the nails in the coffin that helped Trump win.
It was.
And now, all of a sudden,
opinion as well. We shared that.
And now, all of a sudden, he's the arch nemesis of the guy that he essentially helped by doing something that the FBI and law enforcement, FBI specifically, said that they would never do, which is publicly release that they are investigating anybody that has to do with political elections.
Was it within 90 days or 6 months or whatever of an election?
Pretty sure it was I think it was 90 days. And they were within a week or two.
They were within 2 weeks, definitely. And it was.
I'm pretty sure it was like 10 days, but I mean,
it was devastating to him.
Even if it was in a month, it's freaking. Yeah, it was insane. And then now you're going to sit
later and say, no, there's nothing there. And that happened, I want to say, like 2 or 3 days before. But people had already been voting for a couple of weeks. So.
And made up their mind now.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, they didn't wait for the updated story. They rolled with the story.
Yeah.
And that was the whole point. And if you'll never convince me that it wasn't right-wing donors that pushed for that to happen.
Of course.
So the whole time it was actually Trump and Republicans weaponizing the FBI against liberals. And that's why I just I can't even, I'm not one of those people that's like, we can agree to disagree. No, at this point, if you're a Republican that supports this shit, we can't agree to disagree because we're not our difference in opinion isn't on how do we fund public schools. Our difference in opinion is, should black people be treated as white people? Should immigrants be allowed in? Should we improve the system? Like, brother, you guys,
I think we were way beyond that bullshit when the Access Hollywood tape came out, if not before. I think we were way beyond that.
Yep.
Yeah, we knew what this was about.
There's so many things along the way that you can point to be like, really, that wasn't it. That wasn't the final straw. Okay.
The red line keeps getting pushed further and further back, just to try and.
It's just nice to see everything. that political persecution is in fact okay when it's Trump and Republicans. Just needed to make sure that it was only us liberals and Democrats that can't do that. Right. So you know what I'm going to need Democrats to do? I have a homework assignment for you. Okay. I need you to go buy this book. And I want to say this. I'm not getting paid for this in any way, shape, or form, and do not get paid in any way, shape, or form if you buy a book. The Political Brain. I need you all to go read this book. The whole book talks about why liberals lose. and it does it using the 2000 election, Florida, with Al Gore and Bush.
Yeah.
And it literally breaks down how Bush used emotion and people's experiences as Al Gore used information and data and graphs. And it explains why people responded more to the Republican and conservative approach versus liberals' data-centered approach.
Yeah.
And
we got to get better at that.
If you go read this book, we can reverse engineer it to understand exactly why MAGA responds the way that they do, why Trump is able to garner the support that he does. That this book explains it perfectly. Like, we need to understand that it doesn't matter how many court documents we show them. It doesn't matter how many videos we come up with. It doesn't matter how much audio we have them listen to.
You throw at them.
They are not going to change their mind because they are emotionally invested in this man. And there's nothing we can show them that is going to do it. But you want to know what they don't respond well to? When we play the same fucking game.
We do the same thing.
And when you
it's not just them being emotionally invested in him. It's being emotionally invested in things like Christian nationalism.
The ideologies too. Yeah.
Nationalist ideology.
Yeah, you're right.
Like that. All of the things that he, quote unquote, personifies. He has the same grievances that they have, and he's on our side. And that can be a very emotional thing and pull you in, give you a tribe, so to speak. And you're part of that tribe. And for better or for worse, we're going to go down with the ship. Some of them think. So
that sure does feel like what's happening. Yep. I wanted to touch on two quick stories before we're going to wrap up with Pam Bondi. Because that to me, every week it seems like we have something happen that's just like mind-blowingly dangerous. And like I sit there going, did they really just say that publicly?
Yeah.
Like, and then that following question usually is, and nobody's going to do anything about it. So we're going to get to that. But first, we've been blamed for the violent rhetoric and the political violence going on lately. Mm-hmm. We've been labeled Antifa, which has been now classified a domestic terrorist organization, even though
there's not a thing, by the way.
It's not an organization.
It's just a word.
Anti-fascism, by the way, is what it stands for. It's kind of something that we fought in World War II.
It's crazy. That MAGAs, they hate Antifa, but if you call them fascists, they don't want to be called fascists.
It's like,
either.
I'm anti-fascist. You're clearly fascist. Why are you upset?
Fascist? Are you anti-fascist? Does that
if you're against us who are anti-fascism, that makes you a fucking fascist.
So, but hey, they don't get the irony there. So what do I know?
Apparently, we don't know much, dude.
We're not good with words and stuff.
So I say that to say, a white kid got into a car, drove like 70 miles or so, and decided to murder a few girls. And do you know what the motive was behind that, Marcus?
Tell us.
They said some things about Charlie Kirk online.
Yeah, a lot of that going on lately. People say stuff about Charlie Kirk, and certain other people get mad.
Look, I'm gonna.
Most of the time, they're telling the truth about Charlie Kirk. It's pissing people off.
That's the thing, like, guys. We're just repeating what the dude said. Yeah. We're using his own words. Do you know? I don't know.
Tells me they didn't know shit about Charlie Kirk.
They didn't know shit about him. Yep.
They just jumped right on that bandwagon.
Jumped on that conservative bandwagon. Yeah. And by the way, if you're that person, that's why we say it's a cult, because you don't actually know anything. You just do it because the group said so. It's called groupthink. Okay. Here's my issue. I should say I'm just going to end it with this. We on this show do not condone or promote political violence. Absolutely. We do not promote political assassinations.
Absolutely not.
That's not our thing here. However, facts matter here, people. Charlie Kirk himself, and you can quote me on this, said that gun deaths are a necessary sacrifice for Americans to keep their God-given rights. So first off, our rights aren't God-given, given to us by men, written on some paper, okay? I'm sorry. Second, the man thought his own sacrifice was necessary for people to keep their guns. So maybe we should just say, thank you, Charlie, for your sacrifice and keep it moving.
I'm going to give him some grace here.
Well, you're better than me.
He was just talking shit. He was just talking shit. The same thing when he said about empathy, how it was a made-up word. He was just talking shit.
He said it was a woke made-up word.
It was a made-up woke word. I'm giving him grace here. He was just talking shit. But it was dangerous shit that he was talking.
Yep. And he knew what he was doing, too. They all knew what they were doing. That's why I just struggle. Uh-oh. Did we lose Marcus? Oh, there we go.
I'm back.
You're back. Okay. So, yeah, crazy guys. Look, I don't know why we're martyring this dude. He didn't do anything worth, I think, the recognition and remembrance he's getting. To me, I think it's extremely odd that our government went out of their way and, basically went on a week-long Charlie Kirk tour. Yeah. Meanwhile, they not only did they not lower the flags, but I don't believe Trump even mentioned Rep. Melissa Hortman, who was literally assassinated in her fucking home.
Not at all. He didn't even know who she was.
Yeah. So, this dude, this guy that was, spread right-wing evil propaganda every day got shot. Let's honor him. And if you don't honor him, we're gonna get you fired. We're gonna ruin your life. All to honor the free speech guy. But the politician that actually gets shot in her fucking home.
Her and her family executed.
Anything?
Nothing. Crickets. Don't get us wrong. What happened to Charlie Kirk?
It sucked. You saw our reaction live on the show.
It shouldn't have happened.
Nope.
It also shouldn't have happened to Melissa Hortman and her family.
Yep. And again, I think that makes it's either 2 or 3 political assassinations this year alone. Again, little homework for our listeners. Don't take my word for it. Go Google how many political assassinations there have been in the last 20 years in America. And if you want to do it even farther, go back 50 years. This is not normal.
No.
What we are living through right now is not normal. Like, we keep using these words called unprecedented. I know we're all tired of hearing it, but we have to keep reminding everybody that this shit is unprecedented. And when unprecedented times come, unprecedented actions are required. So strap up, people. This isn't a drill. We have to engage. We have to engage. Now, I say that, and I want to just add on, I am not at this time saying that people should be going out and physically fighting back with these ICE agents and military. That isn't going to end well for you. And it isn't, I don't think it's going to do much in accomplishing our mission. So I don't think that that's the answer right now. So keep doing what we're doing in terms of showing up, being peaceful, making them arrest us and shoot us with rubber bullets because we're using our words, because we're holding up a sign, because we're using our right to protest and our First Amendment right against this government.
People need to stand up in those communities and keep pushing back.
Those videos go viral on my Instagram. I keep showing them. Send them to me. I'm showing them. Show them what's really happening. Show them dancing in Portland at night, dressed up as dinosaurs and fucking Pokemon. Like,
I thought that one was hilarious.
It's perfect because I got a friend of mine who sent me a thing, and she's like, I'm in Portland. She sent me video. She's like, this is Portland tonight. Like,
not the part where they were pepper spraying in the air holes in there, but
no, yeah,
just
she's like, Portland's not burning down. She's like, this is crazy. And her whole thing was, she's like, there's nothing happening in Portland that would justify the military or law enforcement deployment that they're seeing.
remember,
Period.
they're teeing this up and using that as a premise to do something more sinister.
Keep telling them, Marcus. Every day.
Open your eyes, people. Wake up. That's what they're doing. I said with the dangerous language, the reason I even got into politics, I saw the dangerous language and Trump teeing up election to dispute the election. He was teeing it up with Hillary Clinton. He messed around and won because he had some help, but he was teeing that up. Then he did it afterward to say, oh, the election was stolen. Biden didn't win.
Well, you also challenged one of the most hateful individuals in Congress, too. Yeah.
So, all right.
Hopefully we can get her out of there sometime soon.
Yeah.
So I have to mention this because I really try to pride myself in also holding our side to at least the same standard, if not higher. So, story came out that, oh, that's not the right one. Sorry, guys, hang on.
Are we back to the Bondi thing?
No. So there's a Democratic AG candidate in Virginia who texted somebody basically saying, I don't even know if I can read that because I don't want us to get taken off, but basically saying that they should be taken care of. They should be assassinated.
Yeah.
And this is a person running for office. They're a Democrat. And apparently these texts accidentally got Pete Hegseth and sent to a Republican who then put them on Truth Social. So as you can imagine, this has caused quite the uproar. And even Democrats, of course, are saying that maybe you need to step down, step out of the election. So,
and rightfully so.
And why is that, Marcus? Because we hold ourselves to the same freaking standard. Like
that standard that we hold ourselves to, we try to hold them to as well. They don't. That's the problem.
You're not going to catch me out here being a hypocrite.
Never.
And calling out the right for something like that, and then not calling out the left. Like, look, I say all the time, like, I thought we should have handled January 6th people much differently, like using 18 U.S. Code subsection 2381 on treason. And if you go read what our legal recourse would be there, I think we should have used it to the fullest extent of the law. Well, that's the closest you're going to get.
The day after, it was sedition.
Yeah. And hell, even Lindsey Graham, even Mitch McConnell, they all said it. They all said it right there on the floor. It's amazing how things change over time and as money starts changing accounts, isn't it?
No, it was dizzying how quick McConnell did a 180 on that. And Lindsey Graham, when he said he was out, I'm out. I can't do this shit anymore.
Yep.
Still doing this shit.
Well, I wanted to end today on Pam Bondi and her hearing going on in Congress today because it's been as big of a shit show as I thought it would be.
Yep.
Let's start there. Before we show one of the videos that I think was, I feel like people weren't really paying attention to this comment when she made it, so I really want us to highlight it. But before we played it, do you have any?
Let me just say, all right. Well, with all of those hearings, there's a little bit of shit show baked in. There's a little bit of grandstanding and things like that.
Yeah,
sure. That's always gonna be
on both sides.
But I don't think I've, at least not in a long time, seen anyone take the bait quite like Bondi did. I mean, she went for it.
Full hook, line, and sinker.
Hook, line, and sinker. Just took the bait. I mean, that was You know, and she made it personal. She didn't have to be that way. You're not going to answer questions. You're not going to be transparent. Cool. We've seen that before.
Yep.
We see it all the time.
It's all you guys do at this point.
That's it. You know, deflect.
Cash Patel crying, Pam Bondi screaming.
Talk about whatever you want to talk about. We get it. We know how this works. We're not naive. But to take the bait, I mean, that's...
Continuously, too. Not just once.
Continuously taking the bait.
Yeah, there's not just one viral, like, response. There's, like, 5. Yeah. But wonderful...
She's not a rookie, but she was damn sure acting like it, you know.
Like that's a good way to put it.
So...
Go ahead. That was a rookie move. Yeah. So our wonderful producer Keith, if you wouldn't mind putting up the clip we want to highlight here of Miss Pam Bondi.
Your city has a murder rate 5 times higher than New York's. 571 homicides last year. If you were serious about protecting your people, you would be asking this administration for help. You're saying that we're coming into your state and your city. We're there to help make America safe and Illinois safe, whether or not you want to.
I believe cutting federal grant programs to law enforcement in my state and across the nation does not make us any safer, and you've done just that.
Ooh.
Way to come back, Senator Durbin.
Yeah. She threw a jab. He hit her with a freaking hook, man.
Yeah.
Like, again, people, listen to what they're saying. Yeah. Like, they're telling us. We're coming into your state and your cities, whether your mayors and governors like it or not, whether residents like it or not. Like, we're here to help you. No, you're not.
No, you're not.
You're there to push an agenda for Donald Trump. You ain't there to help Americans. And I want to, again, remind people, fact check me.
You know,
the Supreme Court has ruled.
Is it really an agenda for Donald Trump at this moment, or is it an agenda for
probably a fair correction?
The people over at Federalist Society and
yeah, it's definitely not one person. He's just the
Project 2025 cohorts.
Yeah, he's just the delivery tool.
Oh yeah,
that's all Trump is.
The gander. They talked about how out of it Joe Biden was for 4 years, and he wasn't the president. Oh, they were making all kinds of stuff.
Dude's got stage 4 cancer, and he's still better.
Yeah, still better.
And, did you see the recent thing?
I mentioned Don now, so
now the right today and yesterday is saying that Joe Biden doesn't have stage 4 cancer, that he's lying about it. There's no way he'd still be out at doing speeches and going to baseball games if he had stage 4 cancer, and he's doing it to avoid being charged.
Oh, well, I can't keep up.
Please make it stop.
Just, can't keep up. It's something new every day. Something just dumber every day. So.
Like, holy shit. And I want to end with this. This is probably the most important thing that this show is going to say today. The Supreme Court, on a regular basis, has ruled on cases stating that law enforcement has zero responsibility to protect us, the American citizen, that their job is to protect property. Let me say that again for you guys. The Supreme Court has told law enforcement that their job is to protect property, not American citizens. Okay?
That protect and serve thing means nothing.
Now, let me add this to the
property. I don't know.
Pretty much, yeah. We just left out one word. Now, I want to add this to the equation for you. Donald Trump and the Republican Party have given law enforcement and military full force orders. Marcus, can you remind the class what full force means?
So, maximum lethality?
Against Americans.
Against American citizens.
That don't agree with the current government.
Here's another way to put it. Extreme violence.
Yeah. So look, guys.
It's the job of the military to be lethal.
Yeah.
That's our job. Lethality. It's our job to use extreme violence where necessary.
Yep.
Extreme violence results in death.
Yep.
So,
you know what I was thinking about today?
but in other words, Trump's order was to use extreme violence against American citizens.
Even if it's,
You want to think about it that way.
yeah, even if it's you not going home.
Yeah.
Crazy. But, you know, listening to Pam Bondi, and she's saying, maybe if you wanted to protect your people, you would ask Donald Trump for help. You know, it's really funny. Maybe if Republicans and the GOP wanted to protect kids, they might actually do something to stop them getting shot at school. Maybe they would take these same type of drastic actions to protect our children, or just Americans in general getting shot out in public. But it's funny, we don't seem to act like that. Only when it's for some crazy political agenda being fueled and paid for by billionaires who don't live the same life that we do, who probably couldn't tell you what the price of a loaf of bread is because they haven't personally gone and shopped for groceries in a fucking decade.
Right.
So, look, guys, we aren't the enemy here. And at the end of the day, we're all going to have to come together and have a kumbaya moment to fix what's happening, because we've already let this go too far. Like, we've passed the point of no return, in my opinion. So if we don't come together, guys, this could be it. Like, this isn't hyperbole. This isn't a joke. So keep coming back to the show. Make sure you subscribe, because we're going to start bringing on these political candidates that actually have the courage, the wherewithal, and the desire to use the megaphone that we're going to give them to fight back against these people. Because at the end of the day, there's only two options. We either fight back legislatively through elections and voting, or we take the fight to the streets. I would much rather see us be able to accomplish this through voting and putting the right people in place to take care of this legislatively and at the Congress level. But if that can't be done, I want us to just be prepared for what could happen next. So make sure you all tune in next week, because we will definitely be keeping you all informed. Marcus, do you want to tell them about October 18th real quick?
Our next No Kings rally is going to be all over the country, guys. And I know you are, if you're like me, you're getting those text messages and emails about supporting getting peaches for college kids. I implore you to do that if you can. Need all the help we can get out there.
Yep.
All right. Godspeed, everybody.
Yep. And so we're going to be out here in Tucson for the No Kings protest here. So if you guys are here and you want to come check us out, we'll be recording. We might be live, but we'll definitely be doing some interviews. But no matter what, please show up, because the reason they don't like when they see so many Americans show up and say, we're not okay with this. Mm-hmm. We have to use our voices. We have to show up for each other. We have to show up for our communities. So please, if you can and you're able, show up. Preferably more white Americans.
Yeah. I mean, let's not forget,
we got to do our parts.
75 million of us voted against this bullshit that we're living
and
through right
hopefully
now.
That number has grown over the last 6 to 8 months. I sure as hell hope. But with that, I'll leave you all as I always do with much love. Keep fighting, but most importantly, make sure you all stay safe out there.